In the last 5 years, the sales of Switch watches have declined by 24%. Why? Because the world has changed. More and more people are beginning to favor digital over analog, and smartwatches over mechanical watches. But the market hasn't collapsed yet. We have Gen Y, aka Millennials, to thank for that. The luxury watch market continues to thrive in Asia, especially because of affluent Millennials. So the question is, will it always be this way? To keep the money coming from Millennials, luxury watchmakers must pay attention to certain things, and we share our thoughts on that later in this video. There is a generational shift towards modern luxury, and this shift could perhaps be the key to sustaining the luxury watch market. If watchmakers can utilize it, that is. Now, you might think, oh, I don't believe that the future of the watch industry depends on one generation alone. Well, you are wrong. As we already mentioned, millennials are the biggest part of sales in the industry today. The crazy part is most millennials don't believe the hype surrounding luxury brands. Luxury in the eyes of today's millennials is not measured in terms of dollar signs, but in terms of the incalculable value of an experience. Even among the most affluent young adults, you won't find many willing to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a Rolex watch. But you can know that they'll gladly spend that kind of money on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Kyoto, which they'll undoubtedly chronicle in detail on Instagram. Even if pleasant things make a person feel more successful, this is not a universal truth, and the idea of luxury is changing. A recent survey by Forrester found that among millennials who have bought jewelry in the past 3 months, 52% enjoy bragging about their good taste, and 48% feel that having the top brand is vital. The trick is to make the wearer, not the jewelry, the focal point of attention when advertising exquisite jewelry. For instance, a millennial may see an engagement ring as just another accessory, while a baby boomer shopper for fine jewelry might give greater weight to the 4 C's than their millennial counterparts would. The affluent millennial market still values quality, but they care more about the values represented by a brand than about meeting certain criteria. Alas, the exorbitant prices of fine jewelry and timepieces must reflect their wearers' emotional investment. If existing brands and new brands to come to ignore that fact, they will lose the game they are trying so hard to win. So what must watchmakers remember? Looking for simpler times is reflected in high-end timepieces. When discussing millennials, the topic of conversation often turns to technological advancements. Despite their deep connection to technology, millennials are increasingly looking for opportunities to disconnect and enjoy the basic things in life. This is why there are still people who wear analog timepieces, a physical artifact that recalls a more innocent era. Getting the time without being bombarded by email, text, and social media updates is an example of keeping things simple. Think about it. Who wouldn't like simple right now? It is already stressful enough to check your phones for text, Facebook notifications, and emails. Doing that on a watch isn't as appealing as we think it is. Simply put, even though many high-end watchmakers are focusing on digital capabilities and cutting-edge technology as selling points, the growing popularity of analog watches among millennials is evidence against making telling time too complicated. Today, customization has emerged as a hallmark of the high-end market. Given millennials' penchant for distinctive forms of self-expression and individualization, it is not surprising that the luxury watch industry has recently shifted its focus to customization. 21% of millennials use words like personalized and exciting when describing high-end products and experiences. Contrast this with the 1 in 5 millennials who use these descriptors to describe luxury and the 12% of baby boomers who do so. A break from the Swiss-made mechanicals talked about by traditional luxury watch brands, newer ones like Los Angeles-based startup MBMT sell their luxury timepieces as adaptable accessories and place more weight on form than function. MBMT wristwatches are marketed at the need, particularly among men, to have an element of playful self-expression as a part of their professional and casual dress. They are minimalist and sleek and include adjustable bands and various color faces that celebrate the trendy modern gentleman. MBMT uses Instagram to advertise its timepieces by placing them in exciting situations. Pretty smart, don't you agree? It's because today's high-end timepieces aren't meant to label their owners, but rather to follow them on their various adventures. Personalization is not the only domain of IT companies founded by millennials. Brands like Nomos Glashut, which sells high-priced mechanical watches, are aiming for a younger demographic by embracing a more contemporary definition of luxury. Nomos is like other watchmakers because it places a premium on old-fashioned methods, high-quality materials, and an original approach to the art of timekeeping. Both the brand's website and Instagram account, however, lack the solemnity and richness that are usually associated with vintage luxury timepieces. Instead, it features a minimalist, bright, and colorful design aesthetic that emphasizes individuality, exploration, and levity. The seriousness and formality that came with wearing a premium timepiece in the past do not appear to appeal to today's consumers. It might be argued that customization makes luxury less stuffy and more enjoyable. More so, the idea of transparency among today's high-end watchmakers is quickly gaining traction. Traditional luxury watchmakers have never offered the same level of transparency as modern luxury watchmakers, which is offered alongside nostalgia and customization. This generation never takes business at face value and is immune to traditional kinds of aspirational luxury marketing. Thus, their demand for transparency is a driving force that has been felt throughout numerous luxury industries. Braithwaite has taken advantage of the rising interest among consumers in delving into the finer points of high-end goods. Founded in recognition of Richard Braithwaite, the first true gentleman and poet, the luxury watch brand claims that its timepieces are a representation of the modern man, who upholds the traditions of the gentleman. Braithwaite follows the principle of gentlemanly behavior by disclosing the whole cost of assembly, including labor and materials, on its website. The three core qualities of the Braithwaite brand, simplicity, transparency, and luxury, are reflected in every aspect of the watch, from the leather strap and coating to the dial and stainless steel case. But there is a new breed of high-end watch manufacturers. Yes, the most prominent brands in the high-end watch business have fallen on hard times. And yes, the sale of luxury mechanical watch brands have been on the rise recently, following 2 years of steady decline. Exports of Swiss watches dropped by over 10% in 2016 alone compared to 2015. This tells us that the fact that customers are spoiled for choice and luxury suggests that the watch category may have become less relevant. Now, more than ever, affluent customers have a plethora of options to choose from. In contrast, the allure of old-school luxury watch brands rather than the analog movements themselves has faded into obscurity. In reality, millennial entrepreneurs have been spearheading a new wave of luxury analog watch firms. There has been a significant upsurge in the number of millennial-founded companies offering online versions of traditional analog watches. Swedish entrepreneur Daniel Wellington, age 33, was the first to hit it big in the industry. His trademark business advertised a collection of simple watches with quartz movements and $200 price tags, emulating the design ethos of luxury Swiss watchmakers like Rolex and Piguet. The company sold over 1 million watches annually by 2016 and brought in over $200 million in sales, all thanks to promotion through an online community of Instagram celebrities. Daniel Wellington was recognized as one of Inc.'s fastest-growing companies in 2018, is a leading example of the new wave of luxury wristwatch startups. It's reasonable to say that a new breed of modern luxury analog watches is stirring up a movement, but it's happening in a language that established luxury watchmakers have yet to master. So what do these astute business people of the millennial generation know about selling luxury goods to their generation? Simplifying, individualizing, and being open about information appear to be the keys. Alas, watchmakers must combine tech with classic design while tapping into simplicity, individualization, and transparency. If they are to stay relevant, they must remain in the good graces of millennials, while appealing constantly to the Gen Z. In 50 years, what will all this look like? Seamless integration of tech into vintage, perhaps?